Okay, before starting the question, let me first ask this basic thing that if I am writing y is equal to a sine bx plus c plus d, then what are these a, b, c, d representing? Starting with a, what is a?
The amplitude.
It's an amplitude. Then b,
I don't know what you call it, but like the distance between the two peaks, I guess.
no, b will represent horizontal stretch. When we say na f of ax, so what is a? Horizontal stretch. So that is what b is over here. Then what is c representing?
Sir, the horizontal shift.
Horizontal shift. And what is d representing?
The
So,
vertical shift.
Vertical shift. So before I start with the question, Raghav, now you believe that this type of question can be asked.
Yeah, I remember doing something like this now.
So before claiming, just think twice, thrice, 10 times that I have never seen question. I don't think it will come. Even at this level, I cannot claim that I don't think this can come. So you just think that how we can claim this thing. Okay. With that attitude, if you'll do any new question, before starting the question, you are gone. Okay, just stick to the concepts what we have done. If these concepts are there in the question, it means it can be asked. And you can find past paper questions like this. Okay, now coming to the question. To find the amplitude, we'll see that how much is this span. Okay, now it is better if I show this diagram in a zoomed form so that we can analyze that better. Look at the span of this. This is between 1 to 2. Normally, the span of graph is between -1 to +1, means the span is of 2 units. Okay. Right now, it is between 1 to 2, so the span is of 1 unit. It means that amplitude of this is half of the original one. So if I'll just keep on writing the values along with doing this, I can say that the value of A will be 0.5. Is this clear to both of you?
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Now, in the question itself, it was given that the function intersects its midline at 1.5, 1.5. Intersects its midline. What is the meaning of midline? So if I have a graph of sine like this, then this point is called as the midline. Okay, which is actually both x-axis and y-axis. So it means that the whole graph starts from here. Whatever we see here is different, but the actual graph starts from here. So this will give me some more idea that how and where it has been shifted. Okay, so instead of starting from 0, 0, it has been starting at 1.5, 1.5. I can say that it has been shifted by 1.5 units upwards. At least upward transformation I can very easily see. Vertical shift of 1.5. So D is 1.5. Now, how much is the horizontal shift? Horizontally in the x-axis, how much it has been shifted?
Would it be minus 1.5?
Okay, so we'll break that down. First, it is shifted by 1.5 units to the right. To the right means x is equal to 1.5. So when you write it down in the form of factor, it will be x minus 1.5. So the value of c will be minus 1.5. And finally comes the value of b. Now b directly represent that whether it is a stretched, like it is a expanded graph or compressed graph. So for that, we have one formula 2 pi by b, which gives me the period. Okay, b is the total span. Whatever number will be given over here, it is the total span. So if we see the total span over here, it is going from 1.5 to 3.5. We are talking about one complete cycle. So that is 2, 1.5 to 3.5. So 2 pi over pi, 2 pi over 2 will give me pi. Okay, it means that period of this function is how much? Pi. So I can write, okay, let me write it down in a more proper way. 2 pi by this number, let's say this number is a, not a, 2 pi over k. So that will be equivalent to b. Okay, just if you want to write general, if I have sine of bx like this, then what will be the value of b? It will be 2 pi over, like what will be the period of this graph? Period of this graph will be 2 pi over b. So how can I get the b value? So b value can be obtained by doing 2 pi over period. Okay, this is a general formula we can say. Okay, so coming back to this, the period of this graph was 2. So if I do 2 pi over 2, then I will get the b value. So b is pi. I got all four and I'm done with it. Now questions, if there is anyone. So
So that's what they're asking, right? To find the height.
they are just asking that only. A bucket moves around to point B, which is at the height of 4.06 above the ground. And it takes seconds for the top of this bucket to go from point A to point B. So it is moving from this point to this point, as it can be seen in the diagram that if you are putting water at this point, it will move in the clockwise direction. So from A to B, it is taking k seconds. The chord AB is 17 meters. Where is AB? This chord AB is 17 meters. And find the height of point A above the ground. Now, height of point A above the ground, it means this function is given for height. And this is the initial point we can say. So since it is the initial point, we'll just put t is equal to 0. Putting t is equal to 0 will give me h as 13 plus 8 times cos 0 minus 6 times sine 0. Cos 0 is 1, so it will be 8, and sine 0 is 0, so that's gone. 13 plus 8 is 21, and that's the answer for part 1. Raghav, what you were thinking?
Not this.
Are you clear with it now?
Yeah, so just give me 1 minute, yeah? I'm just trying to process this.
No, sir. Sir, I couldn't see these questions.
Okay. This is a past paper question which was asked in 2020. Okay. So ultimately, you have to be prepared for this level, okay, where we are just applying what we have learned. How did we get the height? By just using that initially means t is equal to 0. Second question is also purely application. Calculate the number of seconds it takes for water wheel to complete one rotation. Now, what is the meaning of one rotation? If you look at the figure, not figure, this equation. So this equation is a trigonometric equation in which the value of b is pi by 18. Okay, b is pi by 18. In just our earlier question, I told you that if we have period and if we need to get that b value, okay, so we can do it. Now here they are just asking the opposite. They have already given us the b value, and one complete rotation means one period. And one period means for a trigonometric function, period is always 2 pi by b. Okay. All you need to do for this question is 2 pi by 18. And when you will solve it, it will be 36. Pi cancel, 2 times 18 is 36. So calculate the number of seconds it takes for water wheel to complete one rotation. It will be 36 seconds. So this question, just take it as an example that we are just applying simple rules of trigonometric transformation, what we have learned over there, but very indirectly they are asking it. They are not directly asking us to find the period. But then you should know that when it is one complete rotation, it means one time period. So A part 2 will be done like this. Both of you are clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they set up this pretty easy. It's going to be 100, right?
Reason?
So if we go back to the answer that we got, that it can complete one rotation in 36 seconds, right? And there are 36,000 seconds in an hour. Then if we just put that together, we just get 100 rotations.
Correct. Good. So in an hour, we have 60 minutes and 60 seconds. So in an hour, we have 3600 seconds. One rotation is taking 36 seconds. So the total number of rotation will be total time divided by time taken for one rotation. It will be 100 seconds. 100 rotation. So once we are discussing the question, you will get a feel that it was not that difficult, but the way they present it, it is difficult. Okay, so it's just practice
Yeah.
can take you away like from all this phobia, and questions are easier. Okay, but we need more practice. Rishon, 100 rotations is clear.
Yes, sir.
K was mentioned in the question only. Okay, if you want to see what was K, it takes K seconds for top of this bucket to go from point A to point B. This time they are asking the value of K. How do we find K? All the data is given just for your better understanding, I'll show you diagram here only. Okay, just read the initial part of the question again. You will get idea that what we can do and how can we get the value of k. You may have to use that equation also, the initial equation which they have given. Yes. The reason I'm showing the equation is because you can think better in a proper way. If you read this thing, uh, a bucket moves around to point B, which is at a height of 4.06 above the ground. Okay, 4.06 above the ground. So I can say that at this point, height is 4.06. Okay, if that is t is equal to 0, assuming that at t is equal to 0, it is starting. So can I say that from point A to point B, it has to cover a height of 4.06 meters only? Are you guys clear with that?
Yeah.
Now you need
Yes,
to
sir.
use your calculator, okay? And with the calculator, you have to solve this equation. 4.06 is equal to 13 plus 8 cos pi by 18 k minus 6 sine pi by 18 k. We need to get k value from here. Now let's say if you're not clear with how we can solve it using solver, then I'll tell you one trick. What you can do, just make a graph of this. Okay, you can even use x as a variable. Just graph this in the calculator, and along with that, you equate, like you draw a graph of y is equal to 4.06 also. The reason for this is this value is 4.06. So you will get two different graphs. 4.06 is just a horizontal line, and this will be some wavy graph. And then you will see that the line is cutting the graph at certain points, and that certain point will directly give you the k value. Okay, this was a hint. Mostly you have to use calculator, so give it a try. On Desmos, okay, what I was saying was this, that this wavy thing is just an equation I have plotted in the form of y is equal to all the thing on the right, and then y is equal to 4.06 is another line which I have plotted. Okay, and they are intersecting at several points. Now these points, for sure it will come again and again because it's a wheel. Okay, so the same height will be reached again and again, but we have to just talk about the first time when it reaches that point. So the answer will be 11.6 seconds. Okay, the value of k will be 11.6 seconds. Once again, for this also, we don't have to show any working. At most, considering it that it is of 3 marks, we can show the graph. Okay, you can draw that graph in the calculator and then draw a rough graph. And in the rough graph, you can just show this thing that, yeah, there is some wavy pattern and a line is intersecting it over here, and it is intersecting at 11.6 seconds. Even if you show this much, it will be fine. You don't have to draw exact graph. But this graph first, you need to draw it in the calculator and then just copy it from there. So 11.6 is the answer. If anyone have any question connected to this, you can ask.
Or could you go back to the previous page?
In the question, it is given that length of A to B is 17, where it is chord AB is 17 meters. And they had also given the radius. Radius was 10 meters. So this is 10. This is also 10. And the length of chord is 17. And they are asking us this AOB angle. So for a triangle, if we have all three sides, and if an angle is asked, we can use cos rule. That's it. Okay, so just use cosine rule and get it done. Next part is determine the rate of change of H when top of the bucket is at B. Top of the bucket is at B. So when top of the bucket is at B means T is equal to 11.6 seconds, because when it will reach at B, it will be that much time that we have already calculated, and rate of change of H means we have to differentiate this. I'll show you the differentiation also. And after differentiation, we'll just put T is equal to 11.6, rest by calculator, we can get the answer. So H dash of this will be 0 plus 8. Cos differentiation is minus sign pi t by 18. And then differentiation of pi t by 18 will be pi by 18. Chain rule. Okay, whenever we do differentiation of fx, f of ax, it will be f dash of ax, and then for ax, it will be a. And then minus 6 sine this will be minus 6. Differentiation of sine will be cos pi t by 18 and pi t by 18, pi by 18. So that is the final differentiated function, where I have to put t is equal to 11.6. Putting t is equal to 11.6 will give me a certain answer, and that will be the final answer. Okay, rate of change of H when the bucket is at B. So it was only given this much. After that, we understood that thing on our own, that time will be 11.6, and then how to do the differentiation. It will be assumed that at this level, you should be able to differentiate this. Okay. If differentiation of these sine and cos is not clear, then please revise the formulas. Differentiation will be very easy if you know the formulas. Okay. Or you should be able to use it as per from the booklet. Okay. Booklet also it will be given. So just go over this question one more time. Trigonometric transformation, try to do them one more time. Our Monday's lecture will be dedicated to this only. Okay, we will be doing past paper questions only, but make sure that you are fine with the basics. Okay, and looking at these questions, you should get a feel that whatever we are doing till now, this is not enough. Okay, so more efforts are needed to make us sail through this thing. Okay, it is required. Okay, so have a happy and great weekend.